Alright folks, so I want to record a video today and I want to talk about how to start your Amazon FBA business in 2025 from scratch, right? And what I would do and exactly what I would do. Alright, so first things first, if you're new here, my name is Peter Langan. I am a successful Amazon FBA seller. I have countless products selling live online right now, so I know a thing or two about selling products on the internet. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is it still possible to start and launch an online e-commerce business in 2025? Well, I'd like to tell you that it is. Now, is it as easy or as simple as it was back when I got started in 2016? I would say in some ways it's simpler, it's easier, but in other ways it's harder. So for a start, no longer can we just sell any old product. When I started, you could literally launch anything, put it live, put your brand on it, and it would make sales. And you'd make profitable sales. Now, not so much, right? First things first, a lot of Chinese sellers have literally hoovered up the low-cost market, and they've made it so competitive that it's impossible to make money. And if you are making money, right? Sorry, I should rephrase that. It's impossible to make decent money. But if you are making money, it's not enough. Like it's just not enough. And that's if you're making money, yeah. And like the reality is there's a strong likelihood you won't get as good pricing as they can get just by the fact that they're on the ground in China. They can speak the language and they can even perhaps visit the factory floor, or maybe they even own the factory. So yes, that market, that low cost end of the market is very, very difficult. Number two, since I started, there's been a few things. Brexit has happened. That has meant that shipping product from the UK to Europe and vice versa and all that has got a little bit harder. There's a little bit more regulation in terms of VAT thresholds and all this kind of stuff that wasn't there when I started. When I started, anyone, whether they were based in the UK or not, just by the fact they had a UK company, could get like a VAT threshold. That's not the case anymore. There's extra requirements, right? Not impossible, but there's extra requirements, right? But all that aside, right, there's still huge opportunity, but you need to know what you are doing. So the first thing I would say is no longer, if I was starting out, would I look for a low cost item, right? No longer would I do that. So I would now be shifting my focus towards looking for premium items. Now, premium items in my mind are products that retail maybe 70, 80, 90 quid plus, right? And I'm talking sterling, but just they're not cheap items. They're not items that you would buy on a whim. They're something that you're a little bit more like, yeah, like I'm making an investment here, right, as a consumer. I would be looking for products like that. And what I would try and do is find products that have good sales volume. So there's people buying these products, right? You'll find there's likely not as many competitors as you would get with the lower cost items, because again, everyone thinks low cost items, it's easy to get into, you know what, I'll go for that, right? So you find these more expensive, these more premium products. The first thing is that you have a larger margin, which means that if something changes with Amazon, you are not necessarily going to lose all your profit with 1 percentage point change, right? You can absorb, changes. Number two, because it's a premium product, like a pound or two difference in price doesn't even come into it. Like you could increase your price maybe by 10 or 20 quid and the consumer doesn't even think about it. They're looking for the right product for them. It's an investment. Whereas the lower end of the market, like if you're a pound or two more expensive, that can be the difference between converting and not converting in your listing, right? If you find a premium product, right, and you invest heavily in the branding, in the customer experience, and you do all that, it can work. And it can work every bit as well as it did back in 2016. So the market has changed. It's not as simple as it was in respect of low cost, but it's every bit as simple in terms of, premium products. And actually, I would argue that the integration between all the different platforms has improved way so much. Like, I'm not really saying that right, but it's literally since 2016, all that kind of integration stuff has got better. So it's actually really easy, and it's, when you know what you're doing, you can set up all these integrations, very quickly. One thing that has improved since I started is, shipping with Amazon Global Logistics. So when I was doing it first, I had to use third-party freight forwarders. Some of them are really good, but some of them aren't. And regardless of how good or not they are, there's still a third party involved, which means that, things go astray when you're dealing with a giant company like Amazon. Whereas if you use Amazon's shipping service, which is now available and well established, you get really good shipping rates, but also none of that integration, that third party integration is happening, which means that it's all within Amazon's ecosystem, which means it's actually much easier to ship product from China to the various fulfillment centers around the world that Amazon operates in. And also, Amazon has now opened many more fulfillment centers. They are now in more countries than they were when I got started. And for those of you listening in Ireland, they are going to be launching in Ireland. I think their fulfillment center is going live in March. I think, don't quote me on that, but either way, it's coming, right? So there's more opportunities for people like me and you that are based in Ireland, right? But what I'm trying to say to you is this: if you're serious about launching an online business, about building a brand around a premium product or product range, 100% you can still do it now. There is nothing to stop you. There's nothing holding you back apart from what goes on in your head, right? If you're interested in a get rich quick scheme, just throw a product up and you'll make, hundreds of thousands of euros, pounds, dollars, whatever. I'm afraid the likelihood of that is next to impossible. That's not going to happen. I nearly put money on it, right? But the latter, the premium product, man, that can happen, and that 100% can happen. And that, my friend, is possible in 2025 and forward, right? And to be honest with you, I think it'll always be possible, because as long as people are buying product, there will always be room for a premium product, premium supplier, and there'll always be money to be made there. Tariffs, no tariffs, it doesn't matter. The money's there, right? So that's my 2 cents. The time is now.